404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougsstewartshow.com. Is Arthur Blank not the luckiest SOB that ever walked the face of the earth? All of this talk about the new stadium and they're, kind of struggling trying to sell these seats. The seats are at this incredibly high, ridiculous price. And what better marketing tool could you ask for? If you're Arthur Blank, the owner of the Falcons, if you're the organization, what better marketing tool could you ask for is that we're going into a new stadium and our team just won the NFC, went to a Super Bowl, and possibly will be the Super Bowl champions for the 2016 season. Incredible. 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 Let me read some messages in the chat room on Spreaker.com from Jan from Snellville. He says, Fish, he rolled into the end zone and was touched then. That was very, very questionable. And not only are y'all talking about it in the chat room like we were yesterday at the tailgate, but I haven't heard or during that whole little series or that event that happened with the fumble, it never became an issue. Like if I'm Green Bay, if I'm Mike McCarthy, I'm like, wait a minute, we got to talk about this. He was in the field of play. He on his own rolled into the end zone. He was on the field of play, then he rolled into the end zone, and then he was touched in the end zone. Now, he wasn't touched on the field. I don't know, very, very confusing play. I would have definitely had a conversation with the referees, but I don't even think that they did that. But it worked out for the Falcons, so it's okay. It was very strange. Because it wasn't like, here's why it was very strange. Here's part of the reason why it was very strange. It's not like his momentum didn't carry him into the end zone, and I think he tried to make the appearance that his momentum carried him into the end zone, but that wasn't the case. He was set on the 1-yard line. He physically rolled himself in the end zone. It wasn't momentum. He rolled himself into the end zone. So it was very, very suspect, but once again, it worked out for the Falcons, so I'm not arguing. From Grego, he says, hopefully Shanahan is done focusing on the Falcons and has moved on to rebuilding the 49ers. In the chat room on Spreaker.com. So Grego's probably the only real New England Patriots fan that listens to the Doug Stewart Show and that chimes in the chat room. No, he hasn't. No, he hasn't. He has not moved on to the San Francisco 49ers. He is the offensive coordinator right now, the Atlanta Falcons. They got 2 weeks before the Super Bowl, and so he's focused. He's ready to go. From Sluggo X Squad, Arthur is happy as hell right now. I know the phone lines are blowing up trying to get season tickets at the new stadium. 100% agreed. 100% agreed. You go in there, and I think the spread right now, we'll talk more about this later, I think the spread right now is New England Patriots 5 points. I think that's too much. I can tell you that right off the rip. I think 5 points is too much for the Patriots to be favored. Now, it is the Patriots, and there's a lot of history and a lot of success over the last 15 years. We'll break that down as well. But, the Falcons going to score. I can't say it no more succinct than that. The Falcons are going to score. And the Patriots, they seem like they game plans towards their opponents and, do an excellent job of that. But I don't care. The Falcons are going to score in this Super Bowl. I don't think it's going to be a situation where nerves come into play or anything like that. They are going to score points. 30. They're going to score 30. They're going to score 30. From J Fish Microwave X Squad, that was a safety, or the very least, down inside the 1 yard line. And maybe they could have done that. Maybe they could have just said, but he wasn't down. The problem with putting it at the 1 yard line is he wasn't touched. He wasn't touched. So the ball is still live, which makes me think that it should have been a safety. I'm interested to hear if the NFL, once again, because they didn't have any conversation about that at all. Like, even the announcers, and I believe it was Aikman and Joe Buck or whatever, even they didn't even mention it. You know, everybody else seemed like in America thought that it was an issue, but the announcers didn't mention it. I don't think that the referees had any conversation about it at all. I don't think that the Green Bay Packers even considered challenging it. It was a very, very weird play from Brian Hill. True Leonard, y'all miss Brian. Tell him to get it right. From Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast. What up, Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast? He says Julio is a top 2 receiver in the game. He makes a big difference when he's out there. I have to admit, there were games he missed this season, and the offense still continued to make it do what it do. That's it. I mean, and that's a fact. The offense continued to do what they do. And, man, I love Julio, man, but Matt Ryan really, really has taken his game to a different level this year. Not in the past. You know, in the past, it is what it is. He was fair game for a lot of criticism. I wish that we could find, like, the red zone interceptions for a career. Career red zone interceptions for a quarterback. I promise you Matt Ryan's got to be, like, in the top 5 in NFL history. And he's only played, 9 years. And a lot of guys have played a lot more. But I'm telling you, man, so many bad red zone interceptions, man, that I can just think of over the years, in 9 years being in the league. But this year, he put it all together. Outside of, the Kansas City game, where Eric Berry intercepted him for a pick 6, and he also had a pick 6 or a pick 2 on a 2-point conversion. Outside of that game, I think the Falcons in the red zone this year were pretty straight. I mean, and obviously based on the numbers that they put up. But outside of that, man, Matt Ryan has done the damn thing. He 100% deserves the MVP if he gets it. They're not going to give it to Ezekiel Elliott. They're not going to give it to Ezekiel Elliott. They're not going to give it to Dak Prescott. Aaron Rodgers, I think that, and they've pretty much already done the voting, I believe, and they just haven't released who the actual winner is. And Matt Ryan's already won a couple other MVP awards by some other little media entities. But I think he's going to get the MVP award. And based on what he's done in these playoff games, man, he 100% deserves it. From Melvin in the chat room on Spreaker.com, he says, Doug chose the Packers as of yesterday. What? Prior to the game starting, Doug had on a Sterling Sharp jersey. Oh, boy. You're going to start that. So last year, if you're new to the Doug Stewart Show, last year somebody photoshopped me in a Carolina Panthers jersey. Steve Smith, I think it was. So there's been a lot of controversy about me being in a Carolina Panthers jersey last year at one of their tailgates when the Falcons played the Carolina Panthers, but that's just BS. And now I guess because some people had audio issues on Friday, just because some of the people had audio issues on Friday and didn't hear it, they assumed, because I was talking so glowingly about Aaron Rodgers, they assumed that I picked the Packers. But you heard the audio, and the audio don't lie. Shut up! The audio don't lie. Not only did I pick the Falcons, but I picked the exact score. I picked them to shut out the Green Bay Packers in the first half. That boy good. From Leonard, thanks, Obama. I hate all things Boston today. I agree with you 100%. We'll talk about the Patriots here in a second. Them son of a bitches, the New England Patriots, boy. Man, the Patriots, boy. My uncle Donnie told me before the game yesterday, he's like, Doug, listen here. You empty your bank account and you put everything you got on the New England Patriots. I was like, oh, man, I don't see it like that. The Patriots, they didn't look good last week against Houston, Le'Veon Bell and what he's doing out there, and they got all these weapons. Antonio Brown, I don't see it being no blowout. Well, Doug, I'm telling you one thing. Just listen to your uncle. They are going to beat the holy shit out of the Pittsburgh Steelers. And he was right. And he was right, man. I hate to do it, but we will talk about the Patriots-Steelers game coming up here in a second. From Corporate Brother, yeah, Doug, their defense was named after Eugene Robinson, the solicitors. That's funny. From Clay Whitehover Davis, I want people to put one nice hit on Brady like he did Rodgers. Oh, man, the defense really punished your boy Aaron Rodgers on yesterday. Got a couple of clean shots. They were clean shots. They weren't above the shoulder. They weren't using their helmets. They got a couple of nice, clean shots on Aaron Rodgers, man, that maybe have him have a little bit of happy feet back there in the pocket. From Chuchi shaking my head. The biggest problem for the Steelers is they can't handle a dang stiff arm, amongst other things. From Tiffany Sports and Heels, I hate everything the New England Patriots stand for. Patriots my ass. Y'all listen to the show. Most of the people in the chat room, they've listened to the show, man, for the last 2 years. We've been doing this show now for over 2 years. I 100% agree with Tiffany, man. I detest everything that has the conversation with Bill Belichick, with Tom Brady, with Bob Kraft, with New England, with Boston, with Massachusetts, anything to do with them. So this morning, they on Mike and Mike. I had that on. I keep that on a lot of times, just in the background when I'm getting ready for the show. Brought up the fact that every other has the ability to do what the Patriots have because of parity and how the league's set up, and they says you can't use the excuse that the cheating, all of the cheating stuff, or the fact that your team or they don't have or they injuries or anything like that, because they have injuries as well. And it's always funny to me whenever I hear people talk about the Patriots on TV. It's almost like they've taken some solemn oath where they'll talk about the Patriots. They'll quickly mention that they had cheating, just for the record, that they had all these cheating scandals over the last 15 years. But then they'll move on and they'll totally just downplay the whole cheating aspect. We don't do that here on the Doug Stewart Show. We don't do that here. Now, hey, listen, they won. They're going to another Super Bowl, many of which they have been to over the last 15 years. But all I'm saying is, how much success would they have had if they weren't cheating pretty much 99% of the time? That's all I'm saying. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. That's all I'm saying. We don't know. I mean, they got caught so many times. Imagine how many times they haven't been caught. Think about that now. They've been caught several times cheating. If you were caught that many times cheating, if you were caught that many times, imagine how many times you got away with it. So it's hard for me to get a New England Patriots credit. I'm sorry. And if you're new to the show, I'm sorry. I mean, I'm sorry, but I'm not really sorry. Your team is a bunch of cheating-ass bastards. They are. That's a fact. That's a fact. That's not my thoughts. That's not my opinion. That's a fact. And they're going to another Super Bowl. We'll talk about it up next on the Doug Stewart Show. Don't go away.
There's a war going on outside, no man is safe from.